The Raiders are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock.
Bring it. Only down by 2. We're gonna go out here, run this play for the win. Let's go get it. I formation, 28 sweeps, blue 14. Let's let him.
The Raiders are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock.
Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. On deck, we've got what should be a great matchup between the Detroit Lions and the Oakland Raiders. So with that, let's get out to the East Bay in Oakland, California. On the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Oakland, California. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Oakland Raiders. Hello, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden, and partner, our long national nightmare is over. After 6 months away, we're back to playing football.
And this is way better than Watergate, isn't it? Now we get to have some fun. Watch the veterans. They'll play a little bit. We know that. But the big thing, this new crop of rookies and young guys, they get their chance to take the field and earn their spot.
And the former Heisman winner, this is Mark Ingram. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. Moving backwards on first down. Foles. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Landry. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now Foles. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Here's Foles. It's caught by Mark Ingram. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and that's going to bring up the fourth down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
On fourth down, here's Matt Bosher on the punt. Back deep, Danny Amendola. So here comes the Raiders offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by their highly decorated quarterback, Aaron Rodgers.
I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the poster boys for persistence and belief in self. Because coming out of high school, he had 0 scholarship offers in the D1 level. Went to a junior.
On first down, Rodgers looking left side, and he's got a man. It's McCoy, and he'll get it up here this time to the 21. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and it's a second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
2nd and 9 now from the 21.
319!
Here's the now 30-year-old running back, LaShawn McCoy. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. And now the Lions' defensive starters.
Emerging as an anchor in the linebacking core is Carl Lawson, who went in the 4th round out of Auburn and gave them 8 sacks as a rookie. Have to say that for most people, they would call that a steal. How did he get it done, though? Speed, power, ability to see plays happen and make sure he's in the right spot.
And eventually he's taken down here. Great coverage downfield, resulting in the sack. And, partner, it's safe to say that the secondary really contributed to that sack.
Yeah, nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They covered everything. Nowhere to go with the football. But my question is, why didn't he throw it away?
Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. Back deep, Jarvis Landry. And Detroit getting set to go now. The crowd maybe losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Going deep here for Landry. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. He was looking to get it to Jarvis Landry that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down. This is going to be a good one-on-one battle to watch. Both of these guys play the game at the highest level.
Both of them are terrific competitors. They play the game with great athleticism and smarts as well.
And in this early round, the defense wins. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Burton. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
They go play action here on 1st down. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, 1st quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And that was a good run. This was only one of 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards in 2017. And I think you can't let him run wild here.
What do you think, 100 yards, the measuring stick?
Always. That is the threshold. You want to keep him under that if you want to play good defense.
On 2nd down, it's McCoy. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down? We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game.
Bring up 4th down. Defensive end gets in. Responsibility to ends. Just the tackles there, Charles.
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
And they're not going to get a playoff here as time will expire on this 1st quarter. Can't wait to see what the 2nd quarter has in store. And we're back to Oakland after this. Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2 as they take over following the punt with a 1st and 10. Now it's the backup Gabbert, airing it out deep for Smith. So they took a shot on 1st down, but couldn't connect.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Throwing again, Gabbert on 2nd and 10. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
First down, Gabbert. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Call it a gain of 5, and that'll bring up second down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Gabbert here again. And this is Central Florida's Traquan Smith, his first NFL catch. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. And off comes to Martin. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Stop made there by Gerald McCoy.
Gerald McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class. There was a lot of debate about who was going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it 2 different ways. McCoy, more movement, more elusiveness. That allowed him to make the play there for a short gain. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Hey, back 22!
Gabbert on 3rd and 2. Finds his target. It's Gates. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What did the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a 1st down.
They'll try and run down here with Procise. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 on the carry there at 2nd and goal. So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
He'll get it up the middle. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. C.J. Procise, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Lions are in for 6. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Will Lutz on for the point after. Lutz good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. That time a 9-play drive, and it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Here's Bosher to kick it away. Here's Huff to return. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. 1:59 to go in the first half. We'll come back to Oakland after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. They'll run. This is Robert Turbin. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. The tackle made there by Dayon Buchanan. First throw now for the backup McCown. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
And he finds Harry Douglas. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Solid gain of 18 and a Raider first down. To throw, it's McCown. Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Davis. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. They give them a gain of 37.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory. But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard.
Foul, face mask, defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. McCown looks to throw again. And they're going to get him. They bring him down to the sack back at the 16-yard line. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. To throw is McCown. That's caught. It's Thomas. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout. And now we're set to get going. McCown now on 3rd and goal. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
A first down throw for Gabbert. Pass incomplete. Antonio Gates, the veteran tight end, was the intended receiver. And now it's second down.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
A second down throw now for Gabbert. It's caught. Kamar Aiken. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Down. Black 22. Black 22.
On 1st and 10, Gabbert drops it off to Martin. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll bring up a second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Black 22.
Again, it's Gabbert. Smith catches left side. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. Gabbert on 1st down. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go. Kamar Aiken, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
On 2nd down, Gabbert again. Escaping the pressure right. Open space inside the 10. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock.
Black 22.
From the gun, Gabbert. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Javon Wims in the final seconds of the first half. And the Lions are able to grow their lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Lutz will look to add the extra point. Lutz with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays, and it's capped off by a touchdown for the Lions. Here's Bosher to kick it away. On the return now, it's Josh Huff. So we have reached halftime in our first preseason matchup of the year. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The second of 2 Friday night games here in preseason, week 1. We had 12 games last night and 2 more tomorrow to wrap things up. Minnesota at Denver, followed by the Chargers in Arizona. In our game, most of the starters have made their cameo and departed, but plenty of youngsters out there with a lot to gain or lose as we get you right back out to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Lions defense gearing up as they take the field. And they have been disruptive in the backfield. How often when we see this, as we look at some of these highlights, is it just better players getting in there versus scheme that is defeating the offense?
It's a great question, and I think oftentimes we rely on scheme. We fall back and say, well, the scheme broke down rather than giving credit to the players making plays. But when the scheme does break down, you're looking at oftentimes just being overloaded. Too many guys coming from one side or one particular area, then you can actually block it. You know, if there's 2 guys there to block them, they'll bring 3, and that 3rd guy will get through. So when you want to max protect there, meaning getting everyone in, your whole offensive line, your tight end and your running backs, trying to make sure that you're never outnumbered by the defensive guys coming in.
And this is incomplete. They were trying to get the connection with the former Buckeye, Braxton Miller. And now it's 3rd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Throwing is McCown on 3rd down. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Cassius Marsh able to drop him for a loss of 12, and it'll be 4th down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's taken on the 25. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Lions will take over. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Hey, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. 4 yards on the pickup, and it'll be a 2nd down. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. They give to Martin, and he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Geno Atkins, the Pro Bowler, in there on the stop.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
Here's Matt Bosher now as he's on to punt for Detroit. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's there got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide, and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
And a short pickup here as he'll get across the 10 to the 11-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup. It'll be second down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
They go back to Walton. And he'll get this one up to about his 14. 3 yards on the gain. They're going to need to do better on this next play. It'll be 3rd and 12.
Definitely too early to panic, but that is his 4th carry of the game, and collectively has in total 10 yards. So maybe there's no panic, but maybe some concern.
Yeah, and maybe a little concern up front because they're not giving him any space right now. On play action, it's McCown. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. So here come the Lions now. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Now Gabbert, and his throw's going to be incomplete. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
On second down, Martin. Martin flexing the muscle. And they do finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 41. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They run again on 1st down. Martin able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Second down, Gabbert. And his pass, incomplete. He was going for Gates, his tight end that time. 3rd down here.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get, because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
On 3rd down, Gabbert. Steps away to his left. He may try. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Raiders have recovered.
You know, if this is the regular season, partner, we'd be talking about just how costly a mistake that was, but probably good for him to get it out of his system right now.
Just hope for him and the team it's not a sign of things to come.
Yeah, without a doubt. Plus, got to worry about making the team. Those types of errors don't help you.
The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. Now a carry for Walton. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
They run again with Walton. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more preseason football on EA Sports. Back now in the East Bay. It's Raider football here, but they're on the short side of the scoreboard right now as we begin the fourth. The Raiders on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. Here it's 3rd and 3. Working from the gun, McCown. Open man, it's Vernon Davis. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. McCown now on first down. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
McCown again on 2nd and 10. And he fires one incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
The catch made by Miller. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now. Here's Walton. And he stopped immediately there. Big Sheldon Rankins there to bring him down. You gave the stat early on that he's one of just 9 guys to go over 1,000 yards last year, and then you said they needed to bottle him up for under 100 yards. He's way under 100 yards.
Bottom line, he's had virtually no success whatsoever.
And because of that, among a couple other reasons, they're down on the scoreboard. Now Walton. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
From the gun on 3rd, McCown. And this is going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. And Gostkowski's kick is good. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
This fielded at the 2. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. Right now clinging to a 1-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays, they're going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first down, and the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead. Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. A give left to Martin, and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Big Geno Atkins there to bring him down.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. Now, this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop them here. They'll run it. Here's Martin, and he's going to have the first down at about the 38. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Martin. And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7.
Down! Back 22! Back 22!
And a 10th carry here for Martin. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's where this crowd can really help make things difficult. It's 3rd and 3.
Down!
3rd down. It's Doug Martin. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and
First
now
down.
your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. He'll look to throw. A dump down to Turman. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd down. The Raiders try to move quickly, try to get everybody back to the line. And with just over 40 seconds now remaining, he gets up and spikes it. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 4. Back to throw. Over the middle, it's Thomas. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That one good for 13 and a Raider 1st down. And now the spike comes with 28 seconds left on the clock. They'll look to throw. And he slides to avoid the hit. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up 1st and goal. McCown going to hustle his guys to the line. And he clocks it with just 10 seconds left. And that one goes incomplete. They tried something out of the bag of tricks, but it's incomplete and now 2nd down. He's back to throw. This is caught. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. You got to think this is likely 4-down territory anyway, but they'll try to punch it in now on 3rd and goal. Well, no doubt an electrifying finish to have it down inside the 10-yard line. That final shot, though, they couldn't get it in the end zone, and that's all she wrote.
And they had the final shot. The last snap taken that close to the end zone. They don't get it in, so they'll regret that, but flip it over. Making a stand in that portion of the field, congratulations to them.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from Oakland.